Let's play a game. There's a brand new Spider-Man movie releasing this year. The story goes like this. Peter Parker, a wealthy 32-year-old construction worker, falls into a sinkhole where he accidentally inhales toxic gases. These gases give him the powers to jump super high and construct any building at the snap of his fingers. His suit is bright yellow with a big pirate hat and a gas mask. He goes by the name Spider-Man. Now answer me this question. Is this Spider-Man? See, what may seem like an obvious question has some deep connections to a never-ending debate in the Deltarune community. The status of Chara, everyone's favorite demon from Undertale. There's been a divide in the community, with some believing Chara to be returning in Deltarune and others denying it. So I thought that today would be a great day to dig into this and find out whether or not Chara will show up in Deltarune at all. My name is Spooky Dude. Make sure to like and subscribe, it would really help me make these videos even faster. Now, let's discuss. Look, I understand this may seem like a preemptive statement here, but I have to reveal something to you. There is very little evidence, dare I say, no evidence, to suggest that Chara will be in Deltarune at all. Despite this debate constantly going on, the main piece of evidence that most arguments are based on is actually misinformation. In order to properly discuss Chara's chances of being in the game, I've created this chart. We'll be going through each possibility one by one. However, before I get to that, I need to finally debunk the most widespread piece of evidence that is actually false. The intro speaker of Deltarune in the Maker segment has long been a subject of debate. By now, most people agree that it's Gaster. However, what is widely debated on is who the second speaker is. See, as the cutscene ends, after we create our vessel, Gaster says, "Thank you for your time, your answers, your wonderful creation." Then the screen cuts. "Will now be discarded. No one can choose who they are in this world. Your name is..." Now, many players have noticed how odd it is that Gaster has us create a vessel only to discard it. Surely, as we play the game, we'll learn of his motives. But many players have taken this oddity to mean that the second series of sentences was said by a different person. Helping this argument is the fact that it uses a different typer value. Real quick for those who don't know, Deltarune uses something called typer values in the code to judge what style of text it prints to the screen. Using different typer values, you can make it look like any specific character said anything. Sans, for example, has his own typer value, as his font is completely different, and his sound effects while speaking are also different as well. The intro speaker uses typer value 667, while the second voice uses typer value 2. This, plus the specific style of speaking in the Japanese intro, has led many players to believe that the second speaker is different than Gaster and is actually none other than Chara. It's not. Here's the thing. Typer 2 is also a typer value used by Susie. Here in Chapter 1, when she threatens to rip Chris's face off, she goes silent, and the way she specifically speaks here actually uses typer value 2. It's not a typer assigned to a specific character, it's a generic typer used when trying to sound threatening. It's used as a way to shift from one manner of speaking to another. Okay, well, surely that Japanese text means something, right? Now this is a tricky one, and it goes a little bit deeper than I have the ability to speak about. But again, no. Now look, I don't personally think that analyzing manner of speaking in the Japanese version of a game designed in English is an accurate way to make theories. But here's what people are saying about it. The intro speaker uses a different style of Japanese text than the first speaker, including certain pronouns and using kanji. To make a very long story short, many other characters throughout the game also use kanji, even Susie. So if the whole evidence surrounding Chara being the second intro speaker is that they use typer 2 and a mixture of kanji and hiragana, then how is this proof of Chara at all? As I've already suggested, numerous other characters, including Susie, speak with kanji and hiragana. Typer 2 and kanji are both things that are used by Susie, so by that logic, Susie is even less of a stretch than Chara as the second intro speaker. Now, technically speaking, this doesn't rule out Chara. I personally think it's Gaster, and the text change was just a way to change his style of speaking, but whatever. At the very least, we've established that this isn't any more likely to be Chara than it is any other character. usage of kanji and Typer 2 isn't something Chara specific, meaning at this point, there is no other evidence of Chara being in the game. So back to this chart. Now we'll finally be able to start going through the options, one by one. Let's first look at Undertale. Is there a possibility of Chara in Deltarune appearing from Undertale's universe? Maybe after a genocide run? Maybe they've hopped universes after not being fully awoken and pacifist? No. One single line said by Toby Fox deconfirms and debunks all possibility of Undertale Chara appearing in Deltarune, and by that logic, any reasonable form of demon Chara. In a Q&A on Deltarune.com shortly after the game first launched, Toby said, "Essentially, this is not the world of Undertale. If you completed Undertale, the ending and world are as you left it. If everyone was happy there, the people in the Undertale world will still be happy. So please don't worry about those characters and that world. It will remain untouched." It will remain untouched. Frankly, applying this logic, every possibility of Undertale Chara and Deltarune is debunked. Toby says the ending and world are as you left it. If I got a pacifist ending, that's how the world was left. If I got a post-genocide pacifist ending, that's how the world was left. Essentially, Chara sticks around in a few of these endings, meaning that if I got that ending, there's no way Chara could be in Deltarune. If I got a post-genocide pacifist ending, Chara is still possessing Frisk. For them to show up in Deltarune, they'd have to leave Frisk, changing that ending, which Toby specifically says he won't do. Not only that, but bringing Chara over from one specific ending would require that ending to be the only canon one to the Deltarune world. Again, something he implies here he wouldn't do. You can try and make a similar argument about Gaster, but spooky dude, if Chara can't be pulled from the Undertale universe, then neither can Gaster. But here's the thing, he won't be. See, most runs of Undertale don't even involve Gaster. What we do hear about him involves him being scattered throughout space and time. Does this mean that he was partially sent to the Deltarune universe? I don't know. Maybe the Gaster in Deltarune is a different Gaster. Maybe there'll be two. For all we know, we could travel to the Undertale universe before the events of the game. Theoretically, that's allowed to happen based on what we know. Either way, Gaster from Undertale showing up in Deltarune still fulfills the requirements here in Toby's Q&A. So if Chara can't be from Undertale, then surely we'll meet a Deltarune Chara. And this, my friends, is where I go back to that Spider-Man story I told you. See, Chris is essentially taking the role of Chara in Deltarune. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not suggesting Chris literally is Chara, just that, in a metaphysical sense, Chris embodies all the major traits of Chara's backstory and life. Chris loves chocolate and knives. Chris acts creepy around others sometimes. They wear green and yellow as their defining colors. They're the sibling of Asriel. They were adopted by the Dreamers. They love pranks. If they were named Chara from the very beginning, nobody would even question it. We'd all happily accept that this is an alternate universe Chara. So what's my point? I don't think there's a reason to bring back Chara. Without their backstory, Chara isn't Chara. In Undertale, our connection to them as a character comes in the form of flashbacks, and characters discussing their time in the underground before they died. Without ever entering the underground in the first place, Chara is just a name and a face. Let's go back to that Spider-Man story. Does that character, a 32-year-old construction worker with a pirate hat and the ability to make buildings by snapping his fingers, sound like Spider-Man to you? He's got the same name, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. But without that crucial backstory, he isn't the same character. It's Peter's backstory that makes him Spider-Man. His entire origin story is centered on teaching him his main moral principle, that with great power comes great responsibility. Without that origin, he wouldn't be the same character. And the same goes for Chara. Without their origin, without the underground, without Toriel and Asriel, etc., they wouldn't be the same character. Undertale barely hints at Chara's life before the underground, and it's implied to be not too great. I never thought this was worth exploring, as it wasn't teased or anything, it was purposefully left ambiguous. If Chara is their own character in Deltarune, they'd only be there for the purposes of being an Undertale reference. It would be a name we know, so we can point at the screen and go, hey, I know who that is. I don't think Chara is necessary. Sure, maybe Asriel met a friend named Chara at college, but who cares? That's a different character, one who's a different age, lived a different life. There's no point to bringing them into the story, and there's definitely no point to making them an important character. And I haven't even gotten to the demon Chara. Bringing in some twisted version of Demon Chara completely misses the point of the Undertale version. In Undertale, the entire point of Genocide Chara was to act as an embodiment of your killing. They literally say they're the feeling of getting stronger. Shoving this character into Deltarune without any respect for the purpose of this character in the first place would completely miss the point. Now, I think we can definitely say that A, the evidence currently supporting Chara's existence in Deltarune doesn't actually point to Chara specifically. B, it's impossible for Chara to come from Undertale, and C, there's no reason to bring in a Deltarune Chara, as they'd be an entirely different character. So that settles it, right? Chara has no chance of showing up in Deltarune. And that, dear viewers, is where I wish I could say yes. However, there is one more option. Toby Fox. See, everything I just said is based on my understanding of Deltarune's world. In the real world, we understand how Earth operates because we all believe it works under this one fundamental set of rules. In Deltarune, those rules are governed by Toby Fox. Sure, based on everything we know now, there's no chance that Chara could exist. They can't come from Undertale, and there's no point to a Deltarune version, right? But if Toby feels the need, he can add in any plot point he wants, break any rules, retcon any fundamental knowledge of the world. For all we know, in Chapter 6, Gaster can use his multiverse person teleporter to bring Chara into the Deltarune world, still not affecting the world of Undertale. Toby can do what he wants, and if he feels that Chara would benefit the story, he'll bring them in, rules and charts be damned. But that's the thing. Toby Fox, more than anything, seems to be focusing on telling a story, and I don't think that Toby would bring in a character if they don't complement the story. Chara served their purpose in Undertale, but I don't feel like there's any place for them in Deltarune. We've already set up tons of characters, all of whom have entire arcs ahead of them. We've got a possession storyline already going with us, the Soul, and Chris. We've got a lost girl in the form of Des, and her presumed friendship with Asriel. We've got a character who, as I said, embodies all of Chara's traits. To me, it's not that I hate Chara, or don't like them fundamentally. I think that, for what they were in Undertale, they were great, but I just don't see a place for Chara to fit into Deltarune's story. So that's that. Disagree? Tell me in the comments. I really enjoyed making this video, and I'm really excited to make more, so please leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. My name is Spooky Dude, and I'll see you next time.